body chasing the truth.
So I'm doing a reaction video to Joe Rogan talking to The Rock about steroids. I mean, come on, Rogan, with this. Let's watch the video, then I'll comment.
This can't be like a thing you do 3 days a week. This has got to be a thing you do every day. Like,
That's right.
My body has to know for sure it's going to work. And every day, work has got to get done.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't do that, I feel like it's going to slide off. And when I've taken days off and then I get back to it, it's like, I feel way more slide now than I did when I was 20 or 30. It's like the slide is like, it's steeper.
Yes.
It's steeper. It lasts longer. It's harder to get back up there
Yes.
again. Like, okay, stay here.
Yes.
Don't let it slide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is your slide, is it usually
Yeah,
come
Rob.
by way, like if you catch a fucking cold or something
Yep,
like that?
that
It's
could
usually
happen.
that, right?
Yeah, that could be it. Or
I'm just laughing at this because I hope a lot of young people watch my video. Look, you're supposed to feel tired. You're supposed to feel like you don't want to train. That's normal, right? And everybody comes up with an excuse like, oh, I need to do anabolics because I'm tired. And after work, I was tired and I didn't want to train. If you only trained when you felt excellent, you'd probably train 2 days a year, regardless if you were 18 or 75. So this whole thing is just a joke. Look, The Rock is juiced to the gills. His body is pulsating. And, he's doing it because that's what his job pays him to do. He's a movie star that plays all these roles where he's Mr. Muscular. So this whole thing that The Rock is natural, I mean, come on, just stop. For anybody to think that The Rock is natural, you need to go have your head examined and maybe spend some time in a mental institution.
or too many days of no sleep.
Yeah.
Too many days of no sleep will get me. If I'm just traveling a lot or doing something that's
Yeah.
very intensive and I have to get up in the morning or I have to handle something, family stuff or whatever, if I have to get up early, it's just that wrecks you. That's
Yeah.
the one that gets you.
Yeah.
And then you take a day or two off and then you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you got to travel again and, maybe you're going overseas
here we
and,
go.
then it's a long
It's
travel.
a whole thing,
Yeah.
man. You got to
It's a
plan out
whole
your
thing.
work.
Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me. I got no reason to lie to you, right? And I'm not trying to sound like, oh, tough guy, whatever. When I am super exhausted, mentally and physically, and I force myself to train, I swear to you, they're the best workouts I've ever had. And I don't know if it's because your body is forced to go into a totally relaxed state because it knows you're so fatigued. But I promise you, if you don't listen to these excuses that Rogan's making, oh, I was traveling and this and that, and all these other excuses that people make, for injecting themselves with anabolics, I promise you, if you stay natural and you just train when you're exhausted, when it's hot, when it's cold, when it's whatever, it's so gratifying. And it pushes you to a level of mental toughness that other people cannot develop because they have to lean on anabolics, or they only train when the weather's right, or they only train in a conducive environment, or when they've had 12 hours of sleep.
Workouts.
But you just have to do it. If you don't, if you
have
just
to.
decide, oh, take a nap, then you won't do it, and then you're gonna take the fucking nap later. Let's go.
Yeah,
you
let's
gotta
go.
Let's go.
When you
Oh, here we go.
land, this is what I like doing. When I travel out of the country and I land, whatever time it is,
Right to the gym.
hit the gym.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the only way I think to avoid significant jet lag.
Yes.
The other thing that they say is to fast. They say even if you're on a
When you land?
16-hour flight, don't eat on the flight. They say
Okay.
don't eat on the flight.
And the
I don't
idea
know
behind
why.
that is,
I don't know why, but
Like, everybody comes up with this nonsense for training, right? I don't care if I slammed the whole Domino's pizza, drank all 2 liter of Diet Coke, which everybody says is horrible for you, drank no water for the day, had a crappy day, whatever. I just say, all right, man, I'm gonna give myself 2 hours to digest, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Stop making it so scientific all the time. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, you think I like, I always do long distance running because I hate it. So that 4 miles, I usually do 3.5 to 4 miles on the dot, never any less, never any more, 5 days a week, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, whether it's rain, no matter what. And I hate every second of it. Every single second of it, I hate. It's not my thing. I like to do boxing, I like to do Muay Thai, but I force myself to do long distance runs. And mentally, it just brings you to, it makes you more patient. It makes you, think differently. It makes you breathe differently because, it's going to take some time to get this workout over with. You can't just rush it like other things. Like, look, a 4-mile jog is a 4-mile jog at the end of the day. Now, I don't do anything crazy like David Goggins. I mean, that's total insanity. He does that if that's what makes David Goggins happy, fine. More power to him. The point I'm trying to make is this. You can't come up with, I didn't fast, so I can't work out. Or, I didn't drink 84 ounces of water. You just got to get out there and do what you're supposed to do. Whether you slam McDonald's all day or you ate chicken and salad and drank 2 gallons of water. Just get out there and do it. Stop giving yourself mental excuses and mental vices not to do your workout.
But everybody that I've talked to says to avoid jet lag. One of the best ways is to not eat on the flight. And to just sort of land, get a workout in, and let your body get back on its normal cycle. And you won't have the same kind of jet lag.
And still not eat when you land. Just land, train, and then eat out. I can't do that.
I've never done it. I'm on a plane, I'm eating. I'm going to eat 3-4 times.
Gotta eat, brother.
Fucking eating all the time. I don't like the idea of not eating when I'm on a plane. Like, I'm going to eat.
Gotta eat.
Yeah, I think there's 100% something to the workout, though. That seems to reset me as good as anything.
It's
maybe not eating and then a workout would be even better, but I've never tried it.
How do you do this? Because I think about this too as well. Like the difference between when you're tired.
You guys are, you're just making a hate video. You're hating on The Rock because he's powerful and paid. No, I'm not. The Rock is on steroids. Who even knows how many types, right? Probably up to like 50 grand a year, 60 grand a year. Plastic surgeries, you name it. This is all an act. It's not even really him. So it's not really him. Excuse me. If you get a nose job, or you get facial reconstructive surgery, or you get lipo, and then you're on steroids, it's not you. It's not who you are. Now, I'm not saying you can't slim down and make yourself more appealing or whatever, but there's a reason why he's an actor. It's acting. His life is an act, literally.
And you feel like we've been here before. I know I'm fucking fatigued.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to push through this. And like you said, I'm going to get it in, whether it's at midnight or 7. How do you know the difference between that and compared to
something's wrong?
Dude, I got to listen to my body.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Here we go.
I think it's just an education. You have
over
those,
time, right?
Yeah, you have those days where you do push it when you shouldn't, and then you get sick.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, I see what I did.
Yeah.
Or you have those days where you push through and you feel way better. I've had those too. And you got to kind of feel them out. And the only way you know is if you know your body. And the only way you know your body is if you push your body all the time.
I mean, I totally disagree with this. Look, as long as you're not doing David Goggins training, to me is just way too much. It's just like overkill. If you say, hey, I'm gonna do 5 days a week training, like a lot of times I'll hit the wall on a Wednesday or Thursday for some reason. I'll go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The Wednesday or Thursday workout, I'll really feel fatigued and I push through it. And then I'm like, all right, one more day and I got the weekend off. You have to have this mentality. You have to gravitate towards a mentality like, oh, every time I feel some discomfort or I'm extra tired, I'm not going to train. You're never going to raise your mental game or your physical game. Like my workout, whether I'm 20 or to the day I die, is I am going to train 5 days a week, no matter what. 5 days. And I get 2 days off. And it doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter what I ate. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees out. It doesn't matter if it's cold. It builds mental fortitude. And young people, there's a reason why Rogan is on all these different steroids, and the reason why Rock is on all these different steroids. I am not on anabolic steroids. I haven't taken anabolic steroids. The reason why guys gravitate towards steroids is because they can't deal with the mental, I call it being mentally weak, right? You have to just say, you know what, F it, I'm going to do it, and let the chips fall where they may, and that's it. And The Rock and Rogan, don't do that.
Try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have a fucking insane schedule. I mean, I know a lot of people with insane schedules, but yours might be at the top of the list. You're right up there with anybody. I don't know how you maintain all of the things that you do and still have energy.
Rogan, come on, man. Come on, Rogan. I mean, he's even embarrassed that you're asking him that. He's on so much drugs. He probably first of all when he trains, he doesn't have to recover. Like me, recovery is sleep, right? For recover, soon as my workout, I might be fatigued during the workout. Soon as it's over, I'm fine. But in order to feel good the next day, I have to at least sleep 6.5 hours, right? If I don't sleep, regardless of what I eat, the workout for the next day is terrible. Somebody like The Rock, who's juiced to the gills and, has all the luxury of life because all the money that he makes, Rogan, come on. This question is just ridiculous, Joe.
What I try to do is try to schedule my day as best as I can. And, when you're busy, and all of us are busy in our own way, so I really try to make sure that I'm paying attention to the schedule. I'm really looking at it. And I'm going to take a fine-tooth comb through it and go, not that. Because it's easy just to say, yeah, I'll do it. Oh, this thing is for 10 minutes, Joe. Can you? Yeah, okay, I'll do it. And before you know it, all that shit, it's an hour, and then it's 2 hours and all that. So I really try to make sure that I'm looking at the schedule and try to be smart about the moves these days. And I also learned, man, there's just power in saying no.
Yeah.
No.
You gotta have you time.
Yes.
You time's important. Like you can't. One of the things I always tell everybody: discipline is really important, but also enthusiasm is really important.
That's right.
I tell these guys with comedy: if you feel burnt out, take some days off.
Yes.
There's no harm in that. Like you want enthusiasm. There's like something about being enthusiastic with comedy, and I think with a lot of things. Like you want to have that. You don't want it to be a drudgery.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want it to be a colonoscopy. You want to go in there.
Yeah, you want to have
really,
a good time, and you want to appreciate it. And sometimes when you overdo things, you just don't feel that enthusiastic about them. So you got to balance it out. But again, it's an education, so you got to do it the wrong way. And they go, okay, what did I fuck up?
And learn from it.
Yeah.
Dude, I always say with enthusiasm, you can really move mountains.
Yeah.
Right? You can really move mountains with enthusiasm because it starts with that.
Mike Tyson had a great phrase. He said, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. That's real discipline.
Yeah.
Like that's
The Rock doesn't. I love when The Rock makes these motivational videos. Up at 3 a.m., didn't sleep, doing cardio before the world starts, blah, 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 blah. Rock, because you're on growth hormone, anabolics, everything under the sun, and you don't have to sleep and recover the same way. So here's my challenge to The Rock, right? He's never going to have a normal job, but let's just say he had a normal job. Let's say he was a garbage man. And he worked his 8-hour shift. He didn't eat the best during the day. He was in a rough environment. And then he had to get his workout in, his 1.5 to 2 hour workout. He wasn't on anabolics, right? Who's mentally and physically tougher, The Rock or that guy? And The Rock is just, it's just, this is come on, Rogan. Come on, Rock. There's such a weird energy during this interview because it's like this huge elephant sitting in the middle of the room that they don't want to discuss.
I mean, that's what made Mike Tyson.
Yes.
And the proof is in the result. But that's real. If you could just force yourself into being enthusiastic about everything, even shit you don't want to do. Like
you don't have to be enthusiastic. All you got to do is say, F it, I'm doing it. You don't got to, like, that's what everybody makes the big mistake, especially you young guys. Like, you think, yeah, it's time to work out. No. I got to run in 20 minutes. It's freezing outside. I can hear the wind blowing through the thing. It's a 4-mile run and some rounds of shadow. It's iceberg cold out there. I'm not enthusiastic. But I know if I don't do that, regardless of the rest of the day today, I'm going to feel like, you know what? You're a piece of garbage. You're just a lazy piece of you know what, and you're a pea, and you know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to curse on the channel. What are the consequences of not sticking to the plan? How do you feel mentally? It's like that outweighs it. You don't have to be enthusiastic. You have to say to yourself, I really don't want to work out, but I know the consequences of that. If I don't work out, forget the how you look part. Oh, you look at me. No, forget all that. How do you feel mentally when you don't stick to the plan, right? And I know for me, when I don't stick to the plan mentally, even if I came home to just try to relax, I can't relax because I know something internally is wrong because I didn't stick to my schedule. Again, I get those 2 days off. And the crazy thing about those 2 days off is when you're on your schedule for such a long period of time, even when you get those days off, you almost feel like something's wrong because you're so ingrained to go out there and push yourself to the extreme. And I think sometimes that's where you got to tell yourself, like, no, you trained, give yourself a day, give yourself these 2 days off. You want to go for a walk or whatever, that's fine, but no extreme training. But this whole thing where you have to be enthusiastic is a lie. It's a lie. Young people, it's a lie.
You got to do hill sprints. You're like, fuck yeah, we're
Yes.
doing these fucking hill sprints.
Rogan, give me
Get
that.
Let's
after it.
go.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you get excited.
Yeah,
and then,
Rogan.
Then it becomes something stimulating
Yes.
instead of a drudgery.
You know what it is too? It's that thing where
It's going to be drudgery, fellas, young men and women. It's going to be majority of the days you're like, man, I don't feel like doing this. I worked all day. I did this. I did that. But what are the consequences? Forget the vanity reasons. I don't want to hear about big muscles, abs. Forget the vanity reasons. The consequences of not training mentally, we all know. We all go home and say, man, I'm a lazy, you know what. We start cursing at ourselves. We start belittling ourselves. We start being extra hard on ourselves because we didn't stick to the plan.
I think like you learn about, especially when it comes to training and that kind of thing, where it's either you look at it like, fuck, this is something I gotta do, or I get to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
I
get to do it, man.
Yeah.
What a privilege this is.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are like seriously ill and injured and they can't do it. God, they would wish.
I can't agree with you more. I don't want to say too much because he's a great human being. I jog, and where I jog, there's a man up where I jog, and it doesn't matter if it's hot. It doesn't matter if it's freezing cold. Most of the time, it's just me and him. I'll be running, and he'll come by me, and he's in a wheelchair. And 17 years old, he dove into a pool, and he broke his neck. And he's out there with a smile on his face. Hey, buddy, how you doing? You know, every time I'm out there, he's out there. He's a legend around here. Great human. I look at him, I say to myself, man, he's so positive. There's not an ounce of disdain or an ounce of anger that oozes out of his body like he got a bad deal. He was actually went to the prom and dove in a pool or dove in the ocean and broke his neck. And there's not an ounce of anger that comes out. Every time you interact with him, it's just nothing but positivity and like the greatest energy. I always tell myself, I don't think I could be that strong. I don't think I could handle what that man has been through and not be angry. I'd be super, super angry. I thank God I'm not going through that because I look at that man every time I run and it motivates me. And it does motivate me. I look at him, I say he would give all the money in the world to trade places with me right now. And all I got to do is finish this 45-minute, 43-minute jog. So these things are accurate.
They fucking give anything to be able to do it.
One more time. That's
Yeah,
right.
and
That's
we're
right.
lucky. We're lucky as shit. Anybody right now that's able-bodied and hears this is lucky as fuck.
Lucky, man.
Just lucky.
Lucky and privileged. I
Yeah,
would say that.
super lucky.
For sure.
And if you can just keep that in your mind, that's the problem. People get just accustomed to whatever they have, and then they want more. They're not satisfied. But gratitude is so.
Well, Joe, you should keep that same attitude for your own body. You know, you're like, oh, be grateful for what you have. And that you and The Rock should be promoting to younger people. Be happy with what God gave you. You don't need to be sauced out of your mind for approval, whether it's your own approval or for a girl's approval or the public's approval. You know, be happy with what God gave you. You don't need, steroids. You don't need plastic surgery. You don't need to get butt injections. Be the best version of yourself could be. Be the best version of yourself that you could be. Get into the best condition possible. Not for some of it is. I look at it for number one, mental health reasons. Number two, health reasons, and number three, who doesn't want to feel like they're in some type of shape? But the vanity reason should not be number one. And hey, that motivates some people, but I think that's a mistake.
important. I know it's one of those hippie crystal fucking wooden beads things that annoys the shit, because you hear it from the wrong people.
Attitude of gratitude. And,
There's certain things that get co-opted by the word God, I think, is the same way. It's like it's co-opted by some people, and then people have this negative association with it. But I think gratitude is one of those. It is real, and it's really important. And if you could just appreciate your friends and appreciate your life and appreciate people and appreciate what you get to do, you can fucking change your whole tone of existence. You change the frequency you exist on.
Where you vibrate.
You
can change, man.
You change people around you too, because they get excited by it.
Yeah, that's right. It affects them.
That's what I love to do with these guys. I get excited. We're having fun. We're exercising, but we're all laughing. We're having a great time.
Dude, I don't think that's
it was fun. They were looking over at you. They're like, "Are we fucking working out with The Rock?" Shane kept like nudging me, like, "Dude, we're working out with The Rock." What the fuck? What the fuck? Wow. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. But enthusiasm and appreciation. It's like,
I'm not saying that to be appreciative. I'm talking about the workout aspect and the workout mentality that you need to do your workout for years and upon years and upon years and develop a great work ethic. You have to understand one thing. The majority of the time, you're not going to want to do it. Get rid of that little mountain in your head or that little voice in your head that's making it bigger than what it is, and just know it's going to be over before you know it, and no matter how you feel, you got to do it. And if you take that approach and say, I'm going to take that approach 5 days a week, give myself off 2 days a week, I guarantee you'll be in shape the rest of your life.
Those are key concepts in life. And even if you're not where you want to be in life and you're grinding and you're on that hustle.
And there's a lot of people like that, right?
I get it. Keep grinding, but also appreciate it. Appreciate that hustle. Appreciate this thing. Appreciate this fucking beautiful, chaotic, unknown existence you're in.
Thing we call life.
Yeah, that you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. It's open-ended. It's wide.
Man.
It's a complete open loop experience. You don't know what the fuck is coming next, and you're just trying to enjoy the ride.
You have no fucking idea.
No idea. Hey, woman.
You know, Rogan, to me, he needs to come off the steroids. He needs to stop with all the weed. He needs to live a healthier lifestyle. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. You know, I don't. A lot of things these two left out that they should have addressed with the anabolic steroid issue, because it's a huge issue in America where we have so many young people putting this type of garbage in their bodies. And Rogan and The Rock, they have they carry a lot of weight, and they carry a lot of, influence, and it's their duty to talk about it and discuss it and just be grateful for what you have and work with what God gave you, but they're never going to go there.